G'day everyone, my name's Ben. I love my sport, and I figured what way, considering it's round one of the NRL, to do a blog and let you guys know what I thought. Maybe you guys could give me some feedback on things I've missed or things you like or don't like on what is in this blog. I'm only going to do NRL at the moment, but if there is other sports that you would like me to do, because I do love sport, I'll even watch curling if you want me to. I'm happy to do it, so yeah, maybe just comment on anything and we'll see how we go. Don't take my word for it, but I'll do my best. So we'll start off with Thursday night at Parramatta, the Eels and Broncos game. Brisbane were the premiership favourites before the game, and certainly had a lot of admirers after the game. Parramatta though, a lot of new signings, and I think they were quite good. I think Ben Hunt, he had a pretty tough ending to last season, but he came out and he was probably the best player on the field, setting up the first two tries. The second try was a bit lucky, but the first try was a really good ball to John Kahu. And I think Parramatta, they were not as good, but maybe the stage got them. I'm interested to see how they go this week against the Cowboys. But anyway, I just think Parramatta, they'll get Foran back this week. Normans will be fit. I look forward to seeing how they go this week. But yeah, I think I wouldn't be too disheartened if I was a Parramatta fan. 17-4, but they didn't really let any points in that second half. So I'd be quite happy with that. Next game was the Friday night game at Brookvale, and the Dogs were very good. I think it's the same with the Thursday night game. The halves that had played together, Hunt and Milford, were fantastic, and then Reynolds and Mbai. I know they haven't played together as long, but Cherry Evans was sort of by himself. Dylan Walker was. They had four line dropouts. And they didn't even look like cracking the Dogs line. Canterbury were fantastic. I thought Josh Reynolds played really well. And Sam Cassiano, he's trimmed down and he looks like he could play a few extra minutes, so Desi's done well with him. The Saturday game, which I think was the most entertaining game of the round, not the best skill-wise, but I think most entertaining. I really enjoyed how Canberra and Penrith went at it. It was quite an aggressive game, and they attacked. I don't think Soward and Wallace is going to get them places. I think they've got to get that new kid Martin in the team. He played well for the feeder club, which I watched a bit of that game. Yeah, I just and Penrith's defence, maybe it was the heat. It was bloody hot in Canberra, but yeah, I'm not sold on the Panthers. A lot of people the past few years have said their issues are injuries, but not sold. Canberra though, not sure what the finish up was. I know Austin's no good, but Caesar, those two together I think will be fantastic. So it was sad to see Blake Austin go down with that knee injury, but hopefully he comes back. Another game which started off dreadfully was the Warriors-Tigers game at Campbelltown. Just the first 5 minutes, nothing happened. No one wanted the ball. The Warriors were asleep. I can't believe the way they played is just not first grade standard. They did ignite in the second half. I think Mitchell Moses played really well for a young player. Tedesco looks like a superstar. I look forward to him playing this a lot more. Maybe Luke Brooks might bring a bit more to them. I think I like the Tigers. They won't make the 8, but from what I saw, I liked it. They switched off in the second half. But I think that's just young kids playing football. You get ahead and you sort of turn off. I think they'll get better. But the Warriors, I don't think Jeff Robson's the answer at halfback at 5'8", sorry. I don't know what they're going to do, but McFadden needs to do something about that. The Saturday night game, the Cowboys Sharks, quality-wise, was probably the best game of the round. I thought both teams were quite good. The Sharks could easily have gotten away with a win, or even taken that game to extra time. There, I think they were a good team. There was the Cowboys are premiers, and they didn't they didn't let themselves down at all, so I was pretty happy with that. I was a bit unsure about Maloney kicking a field goal with 13 minutes to go. I think, you just pin them in a corner and keep going, but and they did have a better chance later and didn't take it, so I'm not sure. Maybe Flanagan had a word to him, but look, both tries there I think were quite good and did themselves no harm at all. The Sunday game at Allianz, the Rabbits were fantastic. It was 26-0 after 26 minutes. GI, Adam Reynolds, all the players, they lost Walker, and I think Hymel Hunt slotted in there just fine. I don't think they missed it on Walker at all, which was fantastic. I think they'll miss Sutton massively on that edge because he was playing really well. I think they'll miss Adam Reynolds, but Luke Keary comes back this week, so I'm not sure there. I really don't want to touch on this game, but I will briefly. The Newcastle game, I think our halves were the players that Nathan Brown got to the club to lead the club, and hopefully it's just they haven't played together, but neither one of them knew what the other was doing. They were running sideways. We had 5 debutants, and I was fine. I was a bit worried about some of them, Jalen Fanny in particular, but I think he was fine. I think our halves really were disappointing, and the last game of that round was the Monday night game. I think the Dragons will take a lot out of that game. I think they could have won it, and I just think the fact that it was Melbourne and they have Cooper Cronk there, they have Cameron Smith, they know how to win a game like that. I just think St George will come a long way during the year, but I wouldn't be disheartened. Same with Cronulla. I think Melbourne proved a lot. I don't think Melbourne will be a premiership team. I think they'll be a very hard team to beat. But yeah, that's my roundup from the week. So hopefully, I know it's quick, but hopefully you take a few things out of that. So next I'll quickly run through this week's games, maybe give you what I think, some tips. I think the Thursday night game, the Panthers and the Bulldogs, should be a good game. I think the Bulldogs will be too strong, especially now Seguiaro's out with that broken arm. He's a big loss. He's just so tough. I know Peachy's they've named Peachy to play at hooker. He is quite a talented player, but I think Peachy is suited to play a ball-playing back row role, not a hooking role. And I think the Bulldogs will just be too big and strong. They're big, and they get Clemmer back this week, so I think they'll go forward and win. Broncos Warriors, well, I can't see the Warriors getting close. I think Brisbane should win that up at Suncorp. It'll probably be a big crowd up there as well. I think they'll win comfortably 13 plus there. The Roosters and the Raiders at Canberra. I think the Raiders, depending on who they've named Sam Williams is back. They've named the debutant Lachlan Croker. I don't actually know much at all about him. So that'll be interesting to see how it goes. And Sam Williams isn't that creative, but he might be able to steady the ship. I like Jack Whiten a lot there at fullback, so he might be able to assist. The Roosters, look, after the first half an hour of that game, they were completely shocked. I think they'll be okay. That game will be quite a good game on the Saturday. The Saturday afternoon, the Rabbits and the Knights. I know there's a lot of players out for the Rabbits, but I still think they will be able to cover Newcastle. We get Danny Levi back, but I think Tyler Randall played fantastic on Sunday, so I wouldn't be taking him out. I don't know about carrying an extra hooker on the bench. I know Manly did it and it didn't work for them. I think he's got Randall could play the 80 minutes, and I think he just has to stay. I think Danny Levi's got to work his way back into our team, but there's plenty of other places if he wants to change positions because we need help. Parramatta Cowboys. I think this will be the game of quality-wise of the round. I think it's up at Parramatta. I think Corey Norman and Foran hopefully back. I think that'll be a cracking game. The Cowboys, same 17 that won them the grand final and they played last week. Ethan Lowe looks fantastic on that edge, so it'll be good to see him and Bo Scott go at it, who played quite well. So he just continues to keep showing up, Bo Scott. But it'll be good to see those guys. And then another one, which I'll be going to, Sharks Dragons on Sunday afternoon. If that's not a sellout, I'll be surprised. At a nice local football game. The Shire, they love their Sharkies. Paul Gallen's out, which is a bit of a loss. And the Dragons, after going to Melbourne and the Sharks going to Townsville, they both pretty much come home. I think that'll be an absolute cracker. And you know, the Sharkies faithful really don't like St George. It's a rivalry game, and I look forward to seeing how they go. I think the Sharks should beat them going by the weekend, which would be tough for St George. If they lose two the way that I'm thinking, it is quite tough. But yeah, I think the Sharkies might have them there. And the last game, the Monday night game, is the Tigers and Manly. And I'm going to tip a upset here. I think the Tigers, I haven't actually checked the odds, but I'd assume Manly would be favourites considering they were tipped to make the 4 last week. Yeah, I think the Tigers will beat Manly on Monday night. Luke Brooks back. I'm happy with Jack Littlejohn missing out. And there's a few players coming back for Manly too, but I think the Tigers will get them. They're quite an entertaining team, and they'll learn to win those tight games. So yeah, that's pretty much my roundup. I like the Tigers as a roughie. I think the Sharks will win, and I also think Brisbane, I think they're specials. So that's my roundup. And just a few little things that just to touch on before I finish. I think the bunker, I think everyone said it anyway, but it was quite a success for the NRL. I think they've done really well there. It's slashed quite a bit of time off, and also the time clocks have done really well too. So I think I saw on the news this morning that they'll save quite a bit of time per game. I mean, it just means that the little guys will get back into it. The older, bigger guys are going to get a little more tired, and those smaller players can be a bit more creative. And so that's it really. Hopefully you enjoyed this first segment, and I look forward to your feedback. Thank you.